to Storyboard. I'm Shubhani Gharat. 50% of Indians say their home is their favorite place to be, and 63% of Indians shared that they feel positive about their current life at home. These are just two key findings from Swedish home furnishing major IKEA's 10th Life at Home report, which is full of insights around how Indians live at home. Because as priorities evolve, homes have also gone through a series of transformation over the years, and brands like IKEA need to stay on top of those changes. In an exclusive conversation with Storyboard 18, IKEA India CEO Susanne Pulverer shared how the insights help IKEA create better experiences for consumers, and she also shared the highlight of IKEA's India journey. Listen in. Hello and welcome to Storyboard 18, Susanne. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
So, Susanne, let me just kick off with asking you how the past year has fared for IKEA, but also share your thoughts on IKEA's India journey so far. Give me the highlights.
I think I will start with on a very high level that we have had seen so many synergies between IKEA and India and the Indian homes. And I think that's the biggest positive thing, that we have so many things connecting. When we talk to Indians, when we visit Indians' home, and when we do research on how people live and what they think, we see so many similarities, and that the Indians are very home proud and see the home as the most important place to be is, of course, the biggest benefit for us. And we feel very welcome. The 5 years we have been operating in India, loved by many. And of course, we are still not accessible to the many, also not affordable to the many, but this is a journey where we are on and where we will continue to build our accessibility to the many Indians and to be affordable to the many Indians.
So I'm really glad you mentioned accessibility and affordability, because in Davos recently at the World Economic Forum, Inca Group Deputy CEO and CFO said that IKEA is going to cut prices and up to 20% price reduction in more than 250 articles. It will be implemented, of course, in the coming weeks. And I'm just going to quickly quote him. He said that we have a long-term vision to create a better life for people. So we have a long-term approach at everything we do, and the time is ready with high inflation and high interest rates. So can you shed a little bit more light on the pricing strategy, especially in the Indian context? And will we see more such measures going forward?
Yes, and of course, we have seen a positive development when it comes to getting better prices on the products after the COVID time and the post-COVID, where it has been a lot of inflation and increased cost on raw material, transports and everything. So that's what we immediately will give back to the customers and the consumers worldwide. And that is what our CEOs, the deputy CEO, are referring to in Davos. And of course, that goes for India as well. So we are currently working with how we can further invest in lowering the prices on a number of products that we know are loved by our customers. So that is to come, and you will see more of it in the coming months.
Dig a little deeper into the India market and consumer insights that are actually driving your marketing strategies in India.
Always building on our curiosity of what's happening at home. And doing home visits is essential for IKEA since many years. And I think we have done more than 1,000 in India only to understand in depth what's happening in the home. It's not just to look at how the home is furnished, what kind of furniture and things that you have, but to really understand what's happening. What are the rituals in the home, and what are the needs of the people living in their homes, and what are the dreams, and what can we do to offer something that is meaningful to this. So we do a lot of home visits, and that's something that is ongoing every year. And then on top of that, we do the research. So a life at home study, and it's the 10th year we do it within Inca. And we have talked to 250,000 of people in 40 countries to understand more what is important and what can we do to serve the many people. So it's the 5th time we do it in India. And of course, every time we get the result, we get more insights, more understanding, and we can also then further develop our offer to better serve the many Indians. So this year, for example, we talked a lot about well-being, on sleep, how people are planning their lives in the coming years, if they are going to move, and what is essential in the home. And that gives us insights to further build on. Last year's report was around the storage and how you organize your home. And we learned that 9 out of 10 Indians actually think that they are not happy with how it's looking. And here we have many solutions that we can offer. And that has been a focus for this year in our offer to the customers and the consumers.
I'll draw on what you said and ask you exactly who is IKEA's typical Indian consumer?
We are for the many people. So we don't want to be too narrow in how we look at our customers, but very inviting and inclusive in who can be our customer. And of course, India is a very diverse country with people from many different backgrounds and possibilities and household incomes and living situations, etc. So we try to see how can we be relevant for the many. And we, for example, have a low price and really, really affordable products that we protect. So we have around 1,000 products below 200 rupees that we think can be the entry point for the many. And if they can't afford furniture, at least some accessories for the home, or try the food that you can and experience IKEA. So that's one way to meet the many. And then, of course, we have the full range when you maybe buy your apartment and you want to both have a kitchen, have storage solutions, wardrobes, maybe the whole living room. Then we have solutions for the ones who are looking for that as well, and then everything between. Then I would say the many customers that come today and have been maybe exploring IKEA abroad, studied, traveled, living in the cities where we are currently present, and maybe a little bit on the younger side. These are the main target groups that come. But if you come to the store, you will see all kinds of customers, and of course everyone is welcome.
You know, it's really interesting to me because IKEA has this iconic catalog, a physical book that was almost like a collectible for an entire generation of shoppers. It was such a key part of experiencing the brand. Which brings me to my next question for you, Susanne, about how the buyer's experience and journey has changed or evolved. In India, especially where offline shopping is still preferred, even as we make this digital leap and use mobile channels to shop, and the number of online shoppers is increasing rapidly as well. So how is IKEA responding to these changes?
It has been a big shift for IKEA, if we talk overall, to move from the brick and mortar, from a very successful way of meeting customers with the big blue boxes where you can have the full experience, a full day out with all activities that you can have and the inspiration you get in the store, to new ways of meeting new needs that consumers have, to be accessible, to make it a smoother journey, to also be able to consume online. What I see here coming in to India, it's easier when we start from scratch and we are already building the omni-channel IKEA here, compared to countries where we are more mature and have to turn. And India is a very fast evolving society, and the digitalization grade is amazing. The competence that we have on the digital side, incredible. So I think we can drive a lot of development that is to the benefit of the bigger IKEA in India. And we need to think omni-channel, whatever channel the customer consumer wants to meet us, we need to make that possible. So it's a mix, and also the formats we have learned over the years that, yes, the full experience in a flagship store we believe a lot in, but we need to complement it with also smaller size formats to be more accessible and closer to where people live. So this Life at Home report that came now just some week back shows that when we ask Indians how they look upon the future in a 2 years perspective, 71% say they have a positive outlook. And if we compare to global, it's 47%. People believe in the future. And then we ask about the home, and they say sleep and well-being is one of the most important things for them. And I think here we are also planning to go bigger in the next year. We asked about how they Indians see moving, if they will move in the coming years, and it's a quite high figure of people moving. Now I don't have it just here, but I think 50% or 56% are planning to move within the 2 coming years. And of course, we know when you move, you will have a lot of needs for home furnishing and new solutions.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have Yannis Dosios, Chief Commercial Officer of IAS, who gives us an inside view of the opportunities and challenges in AdTech. Welcome back. Global media measurement and optimization company Integral Ad Science, or IAS, who works with some of the world's largest advertisers, publishers and media platforms, in an exclusive conversation with Storyboard 18's Delshad Irani, Yannis Dosios, Chief Commercial Officer of IAS, gives us an inside view of the opportunities and challenges in AdTech, from trust and transparency hurdles in programmatic to the evolution of short-form videos and the exponential connected TV growth across the world. Yannis also gives us his view on the biggest tech disruption of all, artificial intelligence, its impact on AdTech and the trends to watch out for in 2024. Listen in.
Hello and welcome to CNBC-TV18, Yannis. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Very good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So Yannis, let me just kick off straight up by asking you something that's at the sort of the heart of the matter when it comes to programmatic advertising, which is essentially what IAS does and helps advertisers and marketers do better. Trust and transparency, right? Let me first ask you, what does trust and transparency entail today in the programmatic space?
Well, it's a very important question, because programmatic is such an important channel for advertising today, and it's also a very rapidly growing channel. Now, one of the things about programmatic that makes trust and transparency very important is that it's a fairly complicated channel. There's a lot of players and intermediaries that go into programmatic between an advertiser and, at the end of the other side, a publisher. So you have an advertiser that's buying programmatically through a buying platform like a demand-side platform or DSP. They may also use an agency. Then they buy through a supply-side platform and an exchange that's conducting an auction. And then eventually the inventory of a particular publisher and website and particular URL gets used. So each of those steps includes an additional hop, an additional level of opacity. So there's often a lot of lack of transparency around the different steps that the ad goes through. And it's really important for advertisers to have better transparency on how their ad dollars move through this whole channel, and to make sure that they trust that the maximum amount of their spend results in quality media and conversion. That's why it's so important to get transparency and trust in programmatic.
Mm-hmm. So then let me ask you this then. Why is there such a challenge to sort of provide that trust and transparency? And then again, what is IAS doing globally to help sort of get to that goal of having that degree of trust and transparency when it comes to programmatic?
So IAS is a leading media measurement and optimization platform around the world. It's a global company. And its big differentiation in the market is that it focuses on providing the most actionable data than any other provider to deliver better results for the leading advertisers and publishers and media platforms. So with regards to how IAS helps drive this better performance for programmatic for advertisers, we see the world in in, I guess, two different ways in which we help advertisers. One is measure, and the other one is to optimize. So we help them as an independent third party measure every single impression that they buy and make sure that it's viewed by real people in a brand safe and suitable environment in the right geography. And once we measure that, we help them then use programmatic advertising to optimize against all their ad buys, to make sure they eliminate before they even buy any brand unsafe content or any non-viewable or any low quality content. And that's why IAS plays a very important role in building that trust and transparency in the ecosystem. Now, the reason this matters for advertisers is that I speak with a lot of marketers and a lot of CMOs globally, and they really care about minimizing waste, minimizing spend that's not actually delivering results for them. And they also care a lot about maximizing the return on ad spend, or ROAS or ROI. So through a lot of these programmatic solutions that IAS can offer them, they can optimize and maximize their ROI.
What is their top concern right now?
One big concern of marketers and advertisers and CMOs is the complexity of so much data. There's a lot of data that exists around all their digital buying across all those platforms. You know, they buy on open web, they buy on social networks, on CTV, on mobile apps, on audio. So there's a lot of data to process. And I think it's hard to know what's working and what's not. And a lot of their concerns around this are three things. One is, how do I make sure that my brand is kept safe? So as I reach a lot of new audiences in all those exciting new channels, and they are exciting, how do I make sure that their ads are showing always in a brand safe and suitable environment? So that's one very important thing. The second thing is, how do I minimize that type of wasted spend? How do I avoid spending, overpaying for impressions that run on the wrong device, or they're not viewed, or they're fraudulent, or can even damage my brand? And increasingly, we're seeing that many marketers are being asked to prove the ROI and prove that they're a revenue source for their companies. So make a more direct tie between advertising dollars spent or advertising spend and outcomes and results and ROI. So that end step of tying to outcomes is becoming increasingly important for marketers.
Can you maybe just zoom out a little bit and tell me about the CTV landscape right now? What are advertisers looking at? What are the key challenges?
CTV is such an exciting space because it's so rapidly growing. It is actually the fastest growing subsection, if you will, or platform within advertising spend right now. I think it's around the world, and you know, in India as well. I know there was the men's cricket World Cup. By the way, I'm a huge fan of cricket, and me and my three boys. And that was a recent event where there was a lot of CTV spend. Some other stats to share with you is that eMarketer estimates that the CTV ad spend in the United States is going to grow to 26 billion in 2023. So super rapid growth. So more and more users are spending time on CTV. More and more ads are being viewed on CTV. And here are some of the things that this opportunity also creates as challenges for marketers. First of all, just getting the basics right. You know, marketers want to make sure that they have confidence that they get what they paid for on CTV, because typically they're higher CPMs or higher cost per thousand impressions that they spend. They want to make sure that the ad is actually viewed, and that means that the TV was not off; it was on when the ad was playing, or that the ad actually played on the size of device that they bought. You know, they bought a television size screen, not necessarily an iPad. So they want to make sure they don't get charged for a higher size screen and they get served on a smaller size screen. So these are some of the things that are getting the basics, fundamentals right that need to happen for CTV advertisers. But then advertisers also are starting to have more and more sophisticated needs. They want to get the same transparency on CTV that they get on regular television, regular linear television. So they need to really understand not just the channel that their ads showed in CTV, but what is the actual show? What is the actual episode of the show? Maybe what's the actual video and the content in that video that their ads were shown, just to make sure that that is appropriate. The context is appropriate for their brand, and to make sure that it performs. So it's that type of transparency that advertisers are seeking. And this is why this is an exciting area for IAS, because they're seeking independent third parties to validate that inventory on CTV and to confirm for them that it has the right quality, and to give them the right level of transparency.
So short form video, of course, huge market, booming. Just a little bit about some of the sort of key measurement tools that marketers, advertisers can use, and how are you making it easier, perhaps?
You're right. Short form video is absolutely taking off across all the social platforms, and marketers are increasingly using it. One of the things that it creates as a challenge is that in order for you to be comfortable as a marketer to put your brand next to this, you want to know what's in the video, and you really need to understand it on a frame by frame basis. The current solutions up until recently, which included things like metadata, so short descriptors of what the video was about, just are not good enough because they don't really capture all the context of the video, and they don't tell you what's really happening in every frame of the video. So this is what IAS has really focused a lot on. We are a science company, like Integral at Science. Science is in our name, and we've been working with artificial intelligence and ML for the last few years. So we used AI and ML to develop a product called Total Media Quality. And what it does is it takes that classification of the short form video or video content in general to the next level by breaking down a video frame by frame, analyzing every single image and sound and text, and then really classifying that video into different types of risk categories and levels using industry standards like the IAB or the GARM standards. So we can look at a video and with AI and ML tell you with confidence, this is the context of this video, this is the risk level, and you as an advertiser can choose whether it meets your brand safety and suitability criteria, or if it doesn't, and take action on it. So that's a very powerful solution. I think it does, we've demonstrated that it does about 3 times better job at classifying video content than traditional metadata. And it has really positive results for advertisers.
Almost past year now. And what are some of the top trends, key trends that you are sort of looking out for in 2024? What advertisers and marketers should be looking out for in your context?
Now, as I look forward into 2024 and looking at some of the big trends in our industry, one of the reasons why I'm so excited to be in the advertising industry and the ad tech industry is how much innovation happens, how rapidly things change. I'm sure you have the same thing in your world, reporting on it and analyzing it. I'm excited about what artificial intelligence is going to be continuing to do to innovate for the advertising industry in 2024 and beyond. So artificial intelligence and machine learning can help immensely in protecting the brand, as I just mentioned, in short form video on any format. They can really, though, help also with creation of really compelling creatives and ads that can really be personalized, that can deliver better performance. Artificial intelligence can also really help eliminate even more bad actors in the industry, whether it's made for advertising sites that really have very poor performance, or even things like deepfakes that need to be addressed and identified and handled through AI and ML. So that's one very big area that I'm very, very excited. And of course, optimization coming through AI and ML. That's one big trend. Another second trend is still the continuation of video growth. Such a big medium and format, I guess, across both social and CTV. We talked about the growth of CTV. This will continue to grow. I'm excited for 2024 to be a year where advertisers spend even more in the mainstream on CTV and get the level of transparency and confidence they want. But I'm also excited on the short form video to continue to grow and for them to have the confidence around the fact that it's a very brand safe and suitable environment. So I'd say those are 2 major trends that I foresee around AI and video.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.